Samson is your normal, typical 10-year-old. He's full of energy, he loves to be with his friends, and he just continues to fill our lives with so much joy. Samson was diagnosed with FOP when he was 7 months old, and that was 2015. As a mom, when someone tells you that your child has any medical condition, but especially one that's so rare and there's no treatment for, and you basically just take your baby home and hope for the best, it is crushing. Samson's FOP has progressed quite a bit, and it's been pretty scary and hard to watch as a parent. But Samson handles it pretty well. He always takes everything in stride.
The way I describe FOP is it's like having a cast on whatever part of the body you have a bone on, and the fear of falling and getting a bone is very bad.
There's been a lot of hope on our journey with FOP. A lot of that hope comes from all of the research around FOP, all of the clinical trials, the dedication that doctors and scientists are putting into this to try to get a treatment for hopefully Samson's generation, if not his, the generation behind him. I feel like we are so close to having multiple options to treat FOP.
The ability to test these types of molecular therapies, the therapies that are actually targeting the pathways or targeting the receptor itself, really is a privilege. And this is because we know what the gene is and we know what the gene does that allows us to do this.
The discovery of the FOP gene has really informed, influenced, and inspired every major development that has occurred in FOP in the last 20 years and brought us to the threshold of a treatment and hopefully eventually a cure for this devastating condition.
In many senses, the discovery of the FOP gene is a bit of a blueprint for rare bone diseases. It shows the virtuous circle that can occur when clinicians, patients, scientists all work together. All of the good that's now going to come out of that particular collaboration, cooperation, and generosity.
One of the first things that we wanted to do was to genetically engineer a mouse model that expresses the FOP mutation. The mouse model is really essential for all the work that we've subsequently done in terms of understanding what is happening on a tissue on a cellular level. What we've come to understand is that FOP isn't just a disease of forming bone, but it's a disease of complete reorganization of tissues like muscle that we think of being stable, and just a small change in a cellular pathway can reorganize, redirect that tissue towards another fate, towards another function.
For many years, FOP was looked at as an untreatable disease, and what emerged from the FOP gene discovery was actually we understand the part of the body that's faulty. We understand how this type of fault could be fixed. So there was a lot of excitement about, okay, we have a path forward.
Once you know the protein that causes the disease, you can isolate it, you can make it on its own, you can study it, and you can try and find out what it looks like. And if you can find out what it looks like, you can then start thinking about how to design a medicine that will help stop it going wrong.
Once that mutation came along and people understood, we now have a potential drug target. It was amazing to see the number of drug companies, the number of labs that were interested, to see the excitement in the families and in the patients, the hope that they had. It's a huge motivating factor for me, and I think for everyone there.
I've been at Penn since 2010. When I started, there was one clinical trial, and now just at Penn alone, I'm conducting 3 different phase 2 clinical trials, and recognizing that there are several as well that are happening outside the United States and an additional one in the United States. I don't think we are where we are right now if it wasn't for the gene discovery.
I think in the next 20 years, we'll have medications that are able to directly modify how the receptor functions. But one of the exciting areas that's really coming to the forefront is the ability to actually genetically correct the particular mutations. And this might be through gene editing or different other types of strategies where you would be able to make the correction early on, even ideally in utero, to say that we could fix this error and actually prevent this disease from even developing. And our hope is that our lab would be able to contribute to that.
This is January 1999. I cannot believe it's been 20 years since the gene discovered. And then I instantly go towards, have we done enough in 20 years? But I'm a mother lioness like every other FOP mom lioness. It's never going to be fast enough for us. Ian, my wonderful son, second son, is doing really well. He's very busy. He's developing apps and has bootstrapped the business. He has a lot of strength and fortitude. He has limited movement. I find him inspiring still today that he does not let FOP define him. I have heard him say it's actually probably the least interesting part of him.
Good, just take a few big breaths.
I am currently on my 3rd clinical trial. I am thankful I'm able to help out to find a cure for FOP, or something that will stop the flare-ups so that the little kids don't have to go through what us adults had to go through.
Alice and the Smith family were at the forefront of the FOP gene discovery from the very beginning. They were the family that planted the benchmark that FOP was a genetic disease, and to have Alice now as an adult say that I want to be in a clinical trial and I want to advance the treatment, it might help me, but even if it doesn't help me, maybe it'll help future generations. I think that's noble. That's inspiring and noble. It's inspiring to me as a doctor and noble for a human being to think that way.
Eventually, I was able to be a part of the drug trials. I'm not doing it for me. I was doing it for the kids and the next generation and the kids that aren't even born yet, to try and help, them not have to go through the pain and the suffering and everything we've done. But I always tell parents that even with everything I've been through, I wouldn't change a thing. It's been an amazing ride, and I've met amazing people because of everything I've been through, and it's made me who I am, and I kind of like me.
How are you? So good seeing you. I think in my heart I always knew that Whitney probably wouldn't be able to get the cure, and I really didn't think she'd have a treatment. Never thought she would even be on a treatment that she's on today. I just pray for the next generation. I feel so happy with what we've done. I really do. There's no regrets, I just feel joy that our family was able to help in some way. I do. I just feel joy.
The amazing work that families did and continue to do, I think it gives so much hope to future generations. And there are not enough thank yous to give.
Sarah graduated high school and went on to college, and she sang in the church choir and she went to the Bible study. That was kind of her community. Sarah had such a severe case from such an early age that I think I always knew that the drugs wouldn't come in time for her. She's been gone for 8 years. When Sarah was diagnosed, we were so alone that when we knew there were doctors working on it, that was like the answer right there. Compared to being completely alone, that was the promised land. And now they've worked and they've grown and they've educated so many others, and it's just a whole new landscape, and I'm thrilled to have been part of that. It was always a journey. I never did it for the reward at the end.
I am so glad that our fundraising has realized so many research opportunities and pathways to finding a cure. I am so proud of the work that we did and what has come out of it. I would never change a thing. I would do it all over again, knowing that, Hayden wouldn't really get to benefit from it. When he got into Berkeley, it was just like the magic sauce that he needed to really become the real person that he was, which was just an artist and a gamer and a friend. And he went to his first college party and made his dad wait in the car for him for 3 hours while he drank beer and hung out with his friends. And I am so thankful that he was able to do that. I wish that Hayden could have been around a bit longer to really have benefited from what's to come. Now he's free, and I hope he's up in heaven designing and drawing and doing amazing things.
The families who came together to support each other and to really put their lives into finding the gene and raising money to help families and help the doctors. It is so overwhelming to think about the heartache that they've gone through and how they use their heartache to make the future better. To use your grief for something bigger than yourself it's truly a special thing, and I'll be eternally grateful to all of them.
How are you?
The picture today for families who are diagnosed is much different than 25, 30, 35 years ago. We can offer hope now. We can offer real, tangible hope. There's one approved drug. There's several clinical trials that are taking place right now. And hopefully in our black bag of doctoring, we'll have many, many different drugs that we can use to treat FOP.
Ready? Go.
In Weston's lifetime, I'm hoping to see a cure, one that's readily available and effective, and that can be pushed out worldwide to everybody who needs it.
I know that's possible. It's gonna be possible. They're working on it, and I just can't imagine like how exciting that's gonna be for the community and for the doctors who have sacrificed and put in all this work and effort into a miracle.
This community is so near and dear to my heart, and all of these people, we are one big family, and we have to continue helping each other in any way that we can, because until a cure is found, we have to keep going. We have to have hope.
You know, when I first met young children with FOP, I was just learning about the disease and really didn't know what the hope was for a treatment for them. I am very grateful that, work that I've been able to do and contribute to has made their future more promising. The hope is there, and as long as I can, I'll keep doing whatever I can to get us even further.
My greatest hope is the same hope that I had the very first day I met the little girl who had FOP, that will turn a miserable, horrible nightmare disease into something not much more than an inconvenience.
The lasting legacy for the generation before the gene, the families that did all of the fundraising, is that we had hope. We had to have hope that we were going to find a cure, that we were going to find the gene, and that's what kept moving us forward. Yeah, we were the generation of the dreamers.
Any of those early pioneers that started this whole thing of parents taking action, that Jeannie Pieper started, we dreamed of this day. This is what we worked towards. This is the time. This is everything we could have ever imagined.